the part 2 of the finals training. This one we're going to look at the single A private, and then part 3 we'll look next week. We'll look at the remaining 6. So let's start. We're going to have a punt pretty early in the game. Got a punt out of bounds. One thing we want to do, we want to go ahead and just stop the clock right here. Give a good stop the clock signal, and then put your hand in the air and do your communication with the referee. And obviously, if this ball bounces in the field of play and then bounces out of bounds, we would just stop the clock and then get the spot ourselves. Now, I will say about this particular official, this punt play happened a couple more times, just like this, and he stopped the clock before he did this. So we're not picking on this official. Sometimes we just have lapses in our mechanics. So, but just so we all know, when you get a kick out of bounds like that, we'll stop the clock first and then do our mechanic. And does a good job of pointing direction. We have a good legal blindside block right there by number 66. As you can see, we have that reversal of the field, which always puts it on our radar. And he's just gonna open hand shove the defender to the ground. That's textbook legal blindside block. We've been preaching all year. So maybe this is finally trickling down and they're getting the hang of it. See another view of it right here, I think. Yeah, just open hand, shove them, same result. So fingers crossed that this is trickling down. Gonna have another legal blindside block right there about the 33. Or no, right here. Doesn't see it coming. The last minute, it looks like he may, and he kind of braces himself. Not a lot of forceful hit. They both kind of knock each other down. So again, this gives me hope that this is trickled down. This is the other team now executing the legal blindside block. He had a chance to blow this player up. He did it. So, like I said, I'm hoping that this is all trickled down, and we finally got the hang of it. Also, good job by the officials here of doing a good job of transferring from the catch mechanics to what's essentially now reverse mechanics. Deep lets the runner stay in front of them, picking up everything around them, and then of course the field judge would have stuff on the backside. It's a good job mechanics wise there. Here we have a weird play for the wing. This looks a lot worse than it actually is. 6-man mechanics, this is tough. We're inside the 10. I would just say maybe move toward the goal line a little quicker. I know it's hard because you got some action and it's a pass play. And like I said in the last video, we officiate to the percentages, what's more likely to happen. So we want to look for an eligible downfield here. But the wing does pick up on it quick. He doesn't get to the goal line. Kind of gets taken out. And again, this looks worse than it actually is. The only thing about this afterward now is we have a delay in our signal, a delay in our judgment, and kind of sit here and talk about it when we're not really doing anything. We at least need to stop the clock here. Kind of use the stop the clock signal. It's a mechanic. It kind of gives you time to think through what you just saw. This is the wings all the way. There's really no discussion to be had. The wing has to make this call. So it's time to stop the clock and use that momentary time when you're stopping the clock and kind of think through what just happened and then come in and have the spot. So again, not faulting him on this action right here. Really nothing he could do in our mechanics. just do a little bit quicker to come up with some kind of judgment. Out of bounds, touchdown. You can, like I said, stop the clock. Use that kind of mechanic to give yourself time to process and then come up with a signal. Either touchdown or spot the ball. Here we have a deep judge overrun the goal line. This happens, it happens a lot, but it's something we need to be cognizant of. We need to be aware of where we are in the field at all times. Kind of use these right here. Just kind of take a peek. It's at 10, so I need to start slowing it down, take a position on the goal line. Because when we overrun the goal line, and now we have action at the goal line, we have to have a ruling, and we're not in position to make this. So just kind of know where you are in the field. Like I said, as you're backpedaling, take a quick peek. Use these right here. Kind of notice where you are in the field, and then you'll know once you see 10, kind of slow down and start angling out here. So when this action happens, you're right here, and you're able to rule on that. This should always be heads up, even on extra points. We got kind of a bad snap, and no one really did anything wrong here. I just use this to point this out to be aware. What a lot of deeps like to do is just kind of communicate with each other who's eligible. So the field judge or side judge, I think in this game will be over here. Hey, so and so and so and so are eligible. He would come over here. So and so are eligible. That way, when this happens, and this kind of becomes a free for all in the middle. It didn't happen in this particular play, but sometimes it does. We kind of know who's eligible to catch the pass if one happens. So again, it didn't really happen here, but I'm just using as an example to point it out. Also, with wings, you want to be cognizant of an eligible downfield in a play like this. Good job by the referee on staying on the goal line here and ruling on this. It's close. If we look at the end zone angle, we're going to see that ball never crosses the goal line. And that's what we want to remember. Looks like the player's foot's on the goal line, but that means nothing to us. It's where the ball is. So with the referee's in good position to rule on where the ball is, the wing, he's in good position to rule on where the ball is in case the runner turner was going the other way. So we have good mechanics here. It's a good job of working back and being able to rule on this. Like I said, when we watch the end zone view, you can see just how close this really was. And he's got it tucked in there, and I think the referee is right. I don't think this ball ever crossed the goal line, even though his foot was on the goal line. And he's in a great angle to make that, a great position, great angle to make that call. So good job all around there. We had a backward pass, and officials are all over it. Mechanics say for the referee to make this, but that's hard. It's a hard call to make, and no problem whatsoever with the wing doing it. I know a lot of crews just kind of on their own get together and say, okay, if it's coming towards you, pass it back. We are going to revisit maybe that mechanic, but it's hard to work around, especially with everything we ask the wings to do. But we do a good job of signaling, being on top of it, because it's big. It matters right there. So good job of the wing being quick to pass that back. And it was right. That is a backward pass. Gonna have running into the kicker. That's the right call. The only thing I would say, and I think it looks worse with the camera being on the white hat for so long, but a situation like this, kind of jump on the mic real quick. Hey, I ran into the kicker. Get options from the coach. That way we can be working on options when we get on the radio, and we kind of avoid this. Kind of standing there looking. But like I said, I think this looks worse because the camera was on the white hat for so long. I think this makes this look a little slower than it was. But it's just something to look at as we go through. Get running into kickers. Just hop on the radio real quick. I got running into the kicker. That way the wings can start, or deeps even, can start communicating with the coach. Get on the radio and get back the white hat and say, hey, we want to take the penalty. We want to decline it. And again, I just want to point out, I think this looks a lot worse just because the camera was on for so long. It's another example where we get beat to the goal line. Again, just get out of that back pedal a little bit quicker. Is all I would say here. Once you get that cushion broken, about 15 to 20 yards, turn and go. These guys are a lot faster than we are. Let's give them the credit for it. So I would just, once that cushion is broken and you're not comfortable with it anymore, turn and go. Good work by the deeps and holding the goal line. Remember, the player does not threaten the end line. The ball threatens the end line. And if deep official right here does a good job staying on that goal line until he feels it's no longer a threat. See it a lot better than the touchdown replay here. You see he's still in the goal line. When it looks like maybe the end line is going to be the threat, he works his way down. And, well, cuts off a little bit there, but he does a good job. Remember, we stay on the goal line till the end line becomes a threat. And players do not threaten the end line. The ball threatens the end line. So this is a good job. And we can still make that ruling, even working our way down. Got a holding call, and it's a good one right there. It's that left tackle coming in. He's blocking down. He's kind of too late, so he's gonna reach out and just trip up that lineman. Officials correctly call it. I don't know if it's the umpire, the referee, or the wing, but it's correctly called. It was a good holding call by the officials. Can't see it, but this snap is from, I think, the 45, or somewhere between the 40 and the 45. So we're not quite yet inside the 40. So as deep officials, we still want to be our mechanic of about 5 yards behind the deepest receiver. But we want to be cognizant of this goal line right here. Deep officials do a good job of staying, keeping that cushion with the deep receiver, but then getting back in case they need to rule on the goal line. As you see, the side judge does a good job there. He's got his 5 yards back. When he realizes the goal line may be threatened, he works his way back and then works his way back forward. A good job by the deeps there. This one just on the signal, as you can see the wing there. Good stance, looking in, making a decision. The only thing here, you see him come in and step over the pylon, kind of do a weird step over the pylon to make this signal. You just make that signal from where you are. Just kind of come up, give the signal. No need to come out in the field. This isn't one we really need to sell. It's obviously incomplete. So just we're kind of where you are, stand up, give good, solid, incomplete signal, and then do your dead ball officiating. That's it for this video. Good job all around by this officiating crew. Good job all around by the AAA crew. So that's it for part 2. See you guys next week for the last 6